So how did you guys? I guess we'll wait on him. But how did you guys connect, and how long have you known each other for?
Um, I've known him for like quite some time now. Um, I don't know. It's been more than maybe 5 years. It's been a good while. Um, and we connected through one of his somebody he used to talk to. He he contacted me and he heard my beats on Instagram and he told me like, yo man, these beats are what our God are looking for. And there he is. What's up, brother?
Yo, what's good, guys?
Yeah, and I sent him a batch of beats and then I had to talk to him first, like he was kind of like hitting him up for me and stuff. And I was just like, fuck, I kind of want to just talk directly to Dark God, At the time, he was Darkness.
Okay.
And I was like, and then I think I'm not sure who ended up hitting who up, and after I think I hit him up and I got him on a music. We dropped a couple albums. I featured him on some other collab albums that I've had, and stuff like that. And yeah, we just stay in contact.
Nice. So you guys have been making music for 5 years. You got a couple albums out.
I'm sorry, say that again.
So you've been making music together then for 5 years?
I think more than that.
Okay. Yeah.
We've dropped a good amount of albums already, in a short amount of time too. I mean, before I joined Dungeon Masters. Can't really remember when, but I joined maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. But I've known him longer, and I would get him on features, and yeah, we when I joined Dungeon Masters, we came out with an album that was with Seventh Priest, and it was Gothic Wilderness. That was after they came out with Bad Breed, which was a really dope album. And I joined Dungeon Masters at that time, and then after that, we couldn't get in contact with Priest, so we started. We were like, "Yo, we want to keep this moving. We want to keep Dungeon Masters alive." And I was like, "Okay, well, like shit, I'll fucking produce the beats for you." And yeah, we've dropped a good amount of work since then.
Sweet.
Trying to, consistent.
That's awesome. So the new album Midnight Offerings is by Dungeon Masters. Tell us who was Dungeon Masters before you joined a few years ago, and where are they from also?
So Dungeon Masters was Dark God, Cold Spirit, Coop Cybot. I know I'm not sure if 730 was a part of the group, but I know he was working with them.
Okay.
SBZilla. There was some other guys that I'm not sure who they were. I don't know if they were just features, but yeah, when they dropped their Bad Breed album, it was those guys, and Dark God is from Canada. Cold Spirit is from Maryland, and Coop is from Texas, I think Dallas. Seventh Priest he's from the UK, and yeah, those guys were the ones that started it, and they really released a really dope album with Bad Breed. Actually, Bad Breed was a different group, right?
Yeah, Bad Breed was a completely different group, and then Seventh Priest is actually the one that created Dungeon Masters, and he created Dungeon Masters initially with me, Cold Spirit, SBZilla was always there, and I think there's a couple people. There was also a couple of people who left, but the people who stayed, who've been consistent, have been me, Cold Spirit, and SBZilla, and then Lord Osiris came through.
Okay. And so where's Cold Spirit from?
He's from Maryland.
Okay. And then
Somewhere
what
in
about
Baltimore.
okay. And then what about SBZilla? Where's he from?
I'm actually not too sure. I don't know if you know.
I think SBZilla's he's from the East Coast. He's either from New York or New Jersey. One of those
Okay.
two.
All right. So that's super impressive. That's like the Snow Goons where they have collaborations from like all over Europe. That's pretty sweet. Because I mean, I don't know. It's cool because like a lot of groups, like super groups, like all knew each other, grew up like Dungeon Family or whatever, Wu Tang. But you guys like are a collaboration, like brought in from all over the place. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's what makes it really dope. We've never met in person, but we've stayed in contact, and I think we've grown a pretty solid relationship. Me and Dark God, we'll even talk on the phone sometimes. We'll FaceTime and we'll be talking about music, talking what we're gonna do next, even just talking about random stuff. That's the kind of relationship I have with him. Cold Spirit, he's strictly email. I don't talk to him through the phone. He just strictly email. I have his phone number, but he's strictly he's not too much on social media. I just hit him up through email, and yeah, like that's how I send him the beats. He sends me all his work through there. He'll just send me random stuff, message me, yo man, I was listening to this track, I went back to this album, man, it's some fire, and that's how I get in contact with him.
Yeah, so I gathered a couple things. I think you might have posted this on your story, but it was just some gatherings from Instagram. But it talks about a collaborative project featuring Lord Osiris alongside Dark God, Cold Spirit, 730, SBZilla, very much rooted in the horrorcore and underground wicked shit rap scenes. I like that because I've seen that now twice. Another spot it says visceral, unapologetic, wicked shit.
Yeah,
I just thought it was cool. Like the wicked shit is like what I got from all that. And
yeah.
I listened to the new album today, a bunch actually. And two of my favorites were Eamon and Jackals.
Okay.
From featuring both of you guys. Those were like probably two of my favorite beats. Two of the jaw droppers, the ones where I was like, whoa, that's dark. Was Spawn and Summoning Sickness. Those
Okay.
sounds just like, whoa, you guys that's some necro shit right there. You guys went off the wall. So it was pretty
Yeah.
sweet. Were there any major, well, let me back up. How long did it take to record this album from beginning to end? Approximately.
There was some of those tracks were already in the works. I want to say maybe after we released was it Bars of Distortion, I think. We were getting ready to start releasing the next one, because I think in that year we dropped, I can't recall what year it was, because they deleted my YouTube channel. YouTube deleted my YouTube channel, so I lost all my followers.
That was like back in 2022, I think. 2022 or 2023.
Yeah, when we came out with Crypto Bones.
So we had some tracks left over, right?
Yeah.
And just a couple, and then we put them on this album. And then but the majority of the tracks we had freshly recorded.
Okay.
You know? So I mean, like, you could kind of say, like, if we don't include those tracks that we pushed over or saved from before and pushed into this album, then it would probably say, like, I think we got busy in the last like month, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I think probably in the last month we just recorded everything and put it together and said, like, fuck it, let's put it out, man.
Yeah. So the next question was going to be were there any major hurdles? But it sounds like everything went pretty smooth, huh?
Yeah,
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Because in the beginning of the year, like, I was just going through some shit, and that kind of set me back. I didn't want to do nothing. I was like, oh, I don't even want to record or nothing. I was like, just like, damn, dude, like I just, and you know, in touch with Dark God, and they just told me like, yo, man, this music shit is all you have, bro. Like, we gotta keep the ball rolling, you know. Like, we can't let our foot off the gas. And I was like, fuck, man, you're right, bro. Like, and I was just like, and that's when I was like, you know what, dude. And we were like, we should release an album, like, you know, just gather up some of the tracks that we already have, and some of those tracks I needed my verses on. I was like, okay, so like once I locked in, I was like, okay, dude, that's it. And I locked in. I started writing my verses, and we got them done as quick as I could.
Yeah. That's
These guys
good.
really quick with
The biggest hurdles, I would say, like, this is the thing, right? So when you have a collective, right? Like, most people, it's like when you make a group and you make an album and you put it out there, like most people, it's like they're just in it to listen to the album, and they're like, okay, it's cool. Like, these guys are all, you know, rocking with each other, and it's like, people love super groups, right? But the difference between working with one person, two people, and then a super group is the fact that the more people there are, right, the more lives you're dealing with.
Mm.
So it's like, I don't know, like, for example, like, I can only control what I can do. I can't control what Cold Spirit does, or 730 does, or Lord Osiris does. I don't know what's going on in their life, right? But I know what's going on in my life. But it's like, when you have a super group, it's like, the more people there are, the more lives and their responsibilities or what they need to do might interfere with the project or hold up the project, and you have to kind of sort that out and deal with that, and, like, you know, kind of work with that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Osiris, were you kind of broke up there, but you said you were going through something at the beginning of the year, just like emotional stuff or just family stuff, or
Like family stuff, and yeah, like just some family stuff, and it kind of like affected me. And I was just like, shit, like what the fuck, you know, like I just didn't want to do nothing really, honestly, and yeah, I just, you know, I kept in touch with Dark God, you know, a lot of my friends, close friends, and yeah, Dark God just told me like, yo, bro, like, we need to, you know, I still have him a verse actually that I got to get to him, but I'm gonna get to that.
So
But,
I'm waiting on that, man.
yeah, I know.
did getting back into the writing for this album like help you at all? Did it help you kind of traverse your feelings and get out of
Yeah.
out of the funk?
Yeah. Also, I started going to the gym, and that really helped out a lot.
Nice.
So, you know, that kind of got me back on track, and I was like, okay. And then, you know, once I wrote my verse for Midnight Offerings, I wrote that in between. I think we only had like 15 days to put this album together. When we talked, and we're like, okay, dude, like, we're gonna drop it in July.
We said 15th, right?
Yeah, so I think it was literally like July 1st, or maybe even the 4th of July. And I was like, okay, I was like, we could definitely do it. I was like, I only need like maybe 2 verses that I need to write. I already have everybody else's stuff.
Osiris actually is the one who produced it, mixed and mastered it, and all.
I was going to ask that next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
then,
once I wrote Midnight Offerings, I kind of just locked in.
yeah, and then when all the other artists involved, do they all get like a copy of the master before it gets down or uploaded, or do they get a kind of final say? And I don't really like my voice here, or do you just it just goes with you?
Yeah, I send it to them and I tell them, hey, you guys check this out, you know, and let me know if you guys want me to make any changes, levels and all that stuff. Cold Spirit, yeah, he's just one guy. He's like, yeah, it sounds good to me, bro. Just I'm good with whatever, you know. You're handling it.
I think the thing is, we've been working together for so long. Like, you know, it's like we've been working together for so long. We've released so much music together that it's like for example, like, I could make something and I could give it to Lord Osiris to mix and master, and I wouldn't necessarily have to give him the reference track because I already know that he knows how I want to sound because I've been working with him for so long. So a lot of us, it's like we've been working together for so long that it's like, in some sense, it's like we're just like, oh, we just put it out there. In another sense, it's like, yeah, it's like we'll be like, we'll send it if we have time, right? But it's like, also for me, the way I think is that, like, I don't, like, this might sound like hasty, but it's like I don't have time to wait. I'm just like, this is the underground, bro. You got to just put those bars out there, man. That's what's important. Like, it's not like we're not at that point where it's like we're commercial artists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if we'll ever get to that point. Probably not, right? But it's like, but I do know how to navigate within the underground culture, right? And in the underground culture, it's like, and we've already created like a niche fan base, right? And so it's like we kind of know, people already know what to expect from us,
Sure.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of, adds on to that. Sorry, go ahead, man, before I cut you off.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, were you going to say something?
No. You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
So now I just got a curiosity question for Dark God. So you're Dark God, aka Heavenz Chemist, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the new album is under Heavenz Chemist, correct?
So the new album is so my Spotify and everything, I made it under Heavenz Chemist. And so it's like I'm both. I'm Dark God, aka Heavenz Chemist, right? So I'm Dark God and I'm Heavenz Chemist. And we already went over what that was in the last interview, right? But it's like, so it's like before I used to be Darkness, right? And like when I first started. And so when I created the Darkness profile on like, distributors, there's a million Darknesses, right? So I'm like, how's anyone ever going to find me? So then when I started calling myself Dark God, I'm like, yo, it's something common, right? Like maybe somebody already has it, right? So I'm like, yo, I'm going to create a new profile for everything, and no one has it. Like, it's just going to be something completely like unique so that anyone who searches for me can find it.
Yeah.
Right? So then I created Heavenz Chemist.
That's good. And then with the Z too. That's good.
With a Z too.
Because it's hard, like especially in hip hop, like and people will get hurt too. Like I got some friends, they call themselves Stray Gods, one word with a Z. And then like there's another Stray Gods like heavy metal group, and there's like some other guys down in Colorado Springs that call themselves Sun Gods, and and it's just like I know a dude named Stat. There's like hundreds of Stats, bro. And so he changed his name to Status the Marlboro Man because he owned a cigarette store, and now he's the only one. But it's smart. It's like important. It's important. It's silly and trivial, but it's like really important for marketing. I think, especially
it's really important because when I had my Darkness profile, it's like a lot of my music would start getting mixed in with other people's like music. Like they don't know. I don't know how they organize stuff. I don't know if it's an algorithm or they do it personally. It's probably like they don't
AI. It's probably AI.
It's probably AI, right? But they start like the AI doesn't read shit properly. It starts mixing my music with like other Darkness.
There's Stray Gods heavy metal, or I'm sorry, Dark Gods heavy metal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted to create something where it's like, yo, no one has it. No one can fuck with this shit.
Yeah.
And whoever like types this in, they can just find me like immediately, right? So it's like everything I release on distributors is under Heavenz Chemist, but I still call myself Dark God, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sweet. So now that this album is finally out, what are you guys like most proud about? Like are there certain songs or certain bars or challenges overcome?
For me, challenges overcome, and just getting back into it. I know we're all. I really believe we're all dope. I know that we're all gonna come, 100 with some dope bars. I'm gonna try to, supply and produce the best beats that I can. So I'm really proud of. I know we'll release dope work. We always do, but I'm just really proud of just the challenges that we'll overcome and just to get back into this. And I just got to stay back into it, because I have a big amount of love for music. I love doing this shit. I've been doing it for like a while. yeah, I'm just glad I'm back. I'm back to getting this done. Honestly, we're already working on the next album too, so that's gonna come out soon. Hopefully by the end of the year.
Awesome. What about you, Dark God?
I think it's a well put together album. You know what I mean? Like I think everything harmonizes, like from the concept to the sound to the bars to the actual rappers. Like I think they sink in very well.
I agree.
If not perfect, very well.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Yeah,
You know?
it's a very cohesive album. So intro to outro for sure.
Yeah, the intro. Actually, it's the intro. I'm proud of this. The intro, like the intro. I think that's one of my favorite tracks. You know what I mean? Like it's dope. The intro, like Lord Osiris put it together, like took all our vocals, mashed them up, and created the cuts and all that kind of stuff, and it turned out really dope.
Okay. Yeah,
I
I
was
guess
actually
I didn't hear all that. I'm gonna listen to that again now.
Yeah, I was actually there was an intro that I was working on before that one for the album, and I was like, I was sitting there, and I guess it was probably the beat that I wasn't feeling. I was just like playing. I was just like, nah, man. I was like, because I usually kind of since we've made worked, I've made either some kind of an interlude like that, or an intro, and I wasn't feeling it. I was like, ah, man. I was like, I'm not really feeling it. I was like, I think I'm just gonna just leave it as the track, my offerings to start it off. And I don't know, I just started making this other beat, and I was like, fuck, this one's pretty dope. And I just started adding vocals to it, and I was just like, oh, I was like, okay, there it is. I was like, okay, I am gonna fucking do it then. So I started putting it together. I started putting in the plugins and all that, the effects, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm happy with this one. And I sent it to him, and he was just like, yo, man, like, and I was like, yeah, I was like, I was gonna say, fuck it, dude, I'm not gonna do it, but second attempt, it came out how I wanted it to, for sure.
Nice. That's sweet. And now I'm excited to listen to that again. So everybody listening, go listen and pay attention to the intro first on this album. What do you use to produce with? What do you use machines, software? What do you like?
Um, I first started with FL Studio, and after that, I was like, I got into it. I started sampling because I was trying to make beats like from scratch, and I was trying to figure it out. I was like, dude, I don't know how these guys make these beats, man. I was like, and then I was like, oh shit, they sample, like they sample. So I started sampling a lot of stuff too, and I started like getting the hang of it with FL Studio. I started with FL Studio, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I really want hands on. I've always wanted a fucking MPC, man. Like I've always wanted one.
Mhm.
Premiere has one. I don't know. Necro probably uses. I think Necro uses like a keyboard, the Yamaha or something like that. Um, so I was like, yeah. I ended up getting a machine from Native Instruments, and that was my first hand. Actually, no, I got the Akai MPD 18. You still had to connect to a computer, and it was kind of annoying because you have to go on FL Studio. They have like a virtual MPC on there, and you have to do the settings on there so you can then control it on the MPD. And I was like, yeah, this is like it's too much work. And I ended up getting a machine, the Native Instruments MK2, the Mini, and I fell in love with that thing. It was still through computer, but I had more hands on with the machine, and I was like, oh yeah, dude, I love this thing. So I was like, yeah, no, but I want an MPC. So I got an MPC, and I started using the MPC a lot, and it's easy because you plug your phone in through a cable, and it's direct sound into it, and you sample it right there, or I could use like a turntable, a record player, and I don't know. It's just a lot more easier for me through my phone because I could just go on YouTube and I could just be like, or I could just hear something in a commercial and I'll just be like, oh, dude, that's fucking dope, and I'll just fucking sample it directly in right away, and I'll have it in there. So it's just more convenient for me. Um, but right now, I'm back to FL Studio, but um, I'm gonna get me my MPC again, and that's my choice of making beats. It's just a lot easier. It's just you get more into it. You feel it better. The finger drumming and all that.
Mm.
It's just like there's nothing like it, honestly.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's sweet. So this album, if you were to like describe it to somebody that hadn't heard it yet, how would you describe it to somebody in as few words as possible? Dark God, you want to take that?
Yeah. I would describe it in 2 words, man. Verbal holocaust.
I gotta write that down. Sweet. Verbal Holocaust. Love
Yeah.
it.
We're just like going in, just like it's like very apocalyptic. It's like some like Four Horsemen shit, just like destroying everything around us, just with bars. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's awesome, man. What about you, Lord?
I think that's what the next Dungeon Masters freaking album should be called, Verbal Holocaust.
Dude, oh, yeah, I agree. I agree. I was here to witness it.
Yeah,
100%.
I would say it's a pretty disturbing album. Like, I mean, it could be disturbing for a lot of people. You know, it's just something people aren't used to. Very cinematic. Just very dark, very dark. You know, and that's what we're aiming for, and I think that's what we're delivering for sure.
Yeah.
I think for me on like like if I want to like go into like psychoanalysis into the psychology of this type of stuff, I think what it is that a lot of people, like everyone has a dark side. Like, let's not bullshit. People just kind of contain it or hide it or repress it, right? Or they find coping mechanisms, you know, that either repress it or hide it or whatever, right? But I think like our music, it kind of puts up a mirror in front of a person to show them that those parts of themselves. Now, you might ask like, why is that important? Why do we need to see that stuff, right? And I think a lot of society's problems is because we refuse to see that stuff because we don't integrate that part of ourselves, and then later on we suffer in life for it. You know, so I think like our music kind of does that. You know what I mean? Like, and it might make some people uncomfortable, and then other people though it might not make them uncomfortable. Like there's obviously, I mean, we have a following, right? So it doesn't make them uncomfortable. They think it's dope, right? Mm-hmm. I always thought this type of, like, since I was a kid, I always thought this like we already had talked about this in the last interview. I always thought this dark aesthetic as art and like is dope, right? So it's like for example, like I'll read books, you know, that like, you know, like this type of book.
Mm-hmm.
But does it mean I am this? It doesn't mean that. Mm-hmm. It means that I'm able to look into this and entertain certain ideas without holding on to those ideas for myself. Why? Because I'm an intelligent, objective thinker, mm-hmm. right? Whereas, and how do you do that, right? You do that through cognitive behavioral therapy. If you're scared of something, you get closer to it to make yourself less scared of it, right?
Yeah, like heights.
Right? But it's like, this is what this music is. Like, people are unable to, I mean, a lot of people, they're unable to look at this type of stuff. Like, for example, like when you watch a horror movie, are you looking at like a dude like M. Night Shyamalan, like, or whatever his name is? Are you looking at him like, oh, that's what he is? No, you're like, no, this is the creative direction he put this movie in. People don't look at music like that. They look at me like, oh shit, this guy's the dark god. He must be like, think he's Satan or some shit. And it's like, no, man. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So you're always gonna get this shit in hip hop. Especially in hip hop. Like you're always not, especially in hip hop. Not in hip hop per se, but people who don't know anything about hip hop and they see hip hop from the outside, right? They're always gonna think that you are that image that you portray, but it's not really necessarily that.
Yeah, of course, yeah, definitely. Hip hop gets a bad rap sometimes. No
100%. Everyone hates rapper. Hey, bro, like, I think like one of my jobs, like, freaking found out I was a rapper, and they just like had told me to leave, pretty much. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
People don't like people, and I'm honestly, I'm not saying like that's the reason why they did it, right? But I'm like, yo, I'm smart. I can put two and two together, right?
Sure.
But it's like, people don't like rappers, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. But it's whatever, man. I don't give a shit. That's the territory it comes with, bro. If people don't, I mean, that's just in life in general. People aren't gonna, people are, you're not, people, you're always gonna have people who don't like you no matter what.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, once you can embrace that, you got nothing else to worry about.
Yeah, but people are scared of that because people are constantly like, you know, it's like, not people. I don't know about people, right? But what I do know is that maybe it's the place I'm in or whatever. What I do know is that the people I've encountered, they're obsessed with image and status in
Mhm.
like a very conservative way. So it's like optics to them is everything. But it's like their optics have become their prison actually, and they don't realize it.
Sure. Yeah.
You know? Because
I totally.
they actually have no knowledge of their actual selves, because those optics have created illusions for them, and they think that they're that, but they're not.
Right. I totally get it, man. It's the splintering of the world right now. It's people stuck in the world, dude. My customers are like it. Like I do drywall, so I'm always in people's houses, and they got like perfect grass, and their bathroom's 10 years old, but they're gonna get it remodeled because it's pretty old, and and it's like you got to take your shoes off. Those are new floors, and it's like, but that's it, dude. It's like their whole life revolves around like the aesthetics, and it's yeah, and they're lost to self. So
100%.
and
Drywall.
not to be judgy, dude. The thing is, everyone's in their own different place in this walk, and
Right. I'm not trying to, I'm not saying, listen, I'm not trying to judge,
yeah,
right? Like, I'm not judging, but I am judging, right? Because it's like, without judgment, there is no discernment of reality. You have to judge, man. Like, if I walked around the world, like, people, they're kind of like, like some new age spiritual people, or like mostly like chicks, they're all like, oh, don't judge anyone. Everyone's on their own journey. But that's bullshit, because that's hypocrisy. Because in life, you navigate through life by judging, making opinions about things, especially about people, right?
yeah.
You will.
Well, that's what. Yeah, of course, that's prejudice, right? It's if you look at I don't know, if you look at a plate of food and it doesn't look delicious, you're prejudged. You know what I mean? So we're all prejudiced, right? We all make
Right.
prejudgments constantly, but
100%.
yeah,
And you have to, right? And you make them based on your past experiences, or you make them based on your social surroundings, and how your social surroundings, like your community, sees things. A lot of people just see things through the eyes of their community. They don't actually see things through their own eyes, or the eyes of, this social framework that they've created, family or community or whatever, right? So that really like makes me think all the time, right? Like, how true are people to themselves?
yeah. Who knows? I can tell you, I think everyone struggles with that and tries to balance that. Not everyone, but I think we should be all struggling and trying to balance
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah.
I think that like, yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm constantly trying to course correct my behavior. Really.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
don't
I mean,
think.
in reference to this rap stuff, right? Like, it impacts, like, this type of stuff. Like, it gives a certain the visuals and the optics. People see it a certain way, and like, bro, when I first came out with this type of shit, like, we had talked about it, right? Like, it was like I was like an anathema.
Yeah.
But then when people, they get used to it, and they're like, oh shit, like, this guy's moving, this guy's, like, now he's with these Dungeon Masters guys, then they're like, okay, now it's okay now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's a little bit okay. It might not be like 100%, but it's like, okay, we accept the fact that this guy does what he does, whatever.
Yeah.
But it won't be 100% there. They'll never 100% they'll fuck with me. Right?
Yeah, true. It's kind of like you faked it till you made it in there, but you were really doing it. But they're like, well, I guess he faked it till he made it. But another thing you were talking about is optics and like and acting and if whether we're being sincere or authentic. And I think that in a sense, everybody's an actor. That's what I was getting at when I'm always trying to course correct my behavior. We're all actors. And then if you get into hip hop, now you have like aliases, right? So there really is There's people that are different in their video than they are in person, than they are on stage, than they are in front of their mom, than they are in front of their girlfriend, right? Everyone acts. We all act. Which is crazy. Like we all want to be. I want to be authentic, but at the same time, like
you're right. You know what I mean? But there's always like, because in life, right? Like you're torn apart. You have to have different faces. Like I get it, right? Like you have to have different masks, different personas that you wear depending on where you go. You know what I mean? And you have to learn to do that, right? But I think the balancing act is that how do you do that and not lose who you actually are? So I remember I posted something on Facebook. I'm like, yo, you know, because my name's Jay, right? And I forgot what I posted, but it was something like they think the real me is Jay, but they don't really know that it's actually Dark God.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like they think, like people think, oh, Dark God's the alias and like, you know, Jay's the real person. But I'm like, nah, man, it's the reverse. You guys don't even know at all, right? Because it's like, you know, with art, it's like people don't understand. Like there is like a metaphoric aspect to it, right? Like there's a aspect to it that's not in reality, but it is saying something about you. Right? You are saying something actually about your real inner self that you wouldn't be able to say. I wouldn't be able to say these things if I'm like Jay. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to go to my friends and be like, you know, say all these crazy rhymes and shit like that, and they would be like, yo, this is, and say it in like a conversation, like, hey man, they'd be like, you're crazy, right? Sure. But I'm able to say this shit in like rhyme pattern and art and be judged for it, but at the same time not be judged for it. I guess that's but there is a component to it that is true. I might say like, yo, I'm, you know, out here cutting off MC's heads, but that's not literal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's essentially it's a metaphor. It's like, no, I'm out here, and like if an MC steps to me, I think I could like bar for bar like wipe him out. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I think, right? It doesn't necessarily mean I'm out here freaking being like a, you know, serial killer against them. Like, but people, it's like they hear that. People who aren't used to violence, like, and I call these like pretend peaceful people, right? Like they're not used to like violent imagery, and they've just been groomed their whole life in like environments where it's like they've never seen that, right? It's like then they see violent imagery and they push it away. You know why? Because it's actually parts of themselves that are actually in themselves that they haven't actually integrated or dealt with, right? It's like kind of in their shadow, you know, like Carl Jung's shadow or whatever, right? So it's like, but like, and they don't do this artistic shit to bring it out either, right? So we do a dungeon not just me, dungeon masters, not just dungeon masters, like Scorpion, like anyone who I fuck with who makes the dark shit, we do this shit as like alchemy, bro. We bring it out into the world to refine that lead, you know? Mm-hmm. And people don't understand, like, this isn't just about rap, man. This is like deeper than rap. This is like something spiritual. It's like within us, right? So it's like when we say certain shit, it's like people, I might say certain shit and it might be misunderstood, but that misunderstanding is because of the lack of a person's ability to abstract like metaphors or like, you know, poetry and its like abstract higher forms, right? Like people aren't able to do that. They think they can do that, but they can't, right? So it's like, and a lot of people, it's like imagine if I came to you and I told you like you're a drywaller, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So imagine if I came to you and I told you like, hey, that's not, like, you've been doing this for like 20 years or some shit. And I came and told you, I'm like, yo, you don't know how to, like, that's not how you drywall. I'm going to teach you how to drywall because I watched some things on the internet about drywalling or I read some book about drywalling. You're going to be like, get the fuck out of here, right?
Exactly.
Like, you're gonna be like, no, this is different from someone who's done it for 20 years. Like, that's what I mean. Like, we spit these bars. We write these 16 bars. We write these 8 bars. We spit 16s, you know, we master this music. We mix it, you know, we come up with the concepts, the aesthetics, right? You know, we like, this takes experience, you know? Like,
Yes.
and I'm sure, like, Joshua, like, you're a listener, you're a hip hop, you're like a hip hop head. You're within the culture, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, if you hear us, right, we're not no like amateur MCs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can hear it. Like, these guys actually have been doing this for a while. You can tell.
Well, I know because I've tried it. I've tried producing. Well, I wouldn't say producing. I've tried making beats and rapping and recording myself, and it's not easy. And I did that. I did that to understand the depth of the process, not just because I thought I was going to be a musician. It was more just I knew I wasn't going to be. I'm 50 years old. But I was just like, well, I want to know what it means to make a beat. I want to know what it means to loop something and to bring it together and to bring in vinyl samples and I still mess with that stuff really, but it's more just every time I do it, I'm just in awe of the creators that are doing it successfully and every 6 months, you know, putting out a new album. So kudos. I respect the process for sure.
100%. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about today? Talk about the new album, something, the next one in the works, or do you want to keep that on the DL for now?
Well, the next one in the works, I think we're 4 beats in. Actually, I have 4 beats ready. I just received Cold Spirit's verse yesterday for vulgar compositions. Dark God's gonna send me his when he's done. That'll probably be maybe the first release for the solo track, but yeah, we got some artwork for it. I don't know, maybe we'll change the name. I was thinking Rotting Coffins for the album, but I mean, you know, that's something we're gonna talk about. Just be like, well, mainly Cold Spirit's just down with whatever. He doesn't care. He's just like, yeah, I'm just along for the ride, bro.
Right.
He doesn't make it difficult or nothing, you know. He's just like, I'm just happy, you know, that we're fucking working and stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll see. Like, I trust you guys with the process, you know. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So conceptually, me and Osiris do everything conceptually.
Okay. I kind of figured that when we talked about just the two of you joining us. Do you guys, either one of you guys, have like radio stations locally that you can go to, and like college radio or anything where you're dropping off your music or sending in?
Yeah. I think I sent in like the last, like Sponging the Heretics or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I sent that into like a college radio station. I think Jaden Arbuckle actually introduced me to them. I sent it to like a college radio station, and they distributed it to like a bunch of other college radio stations, right? So like for probably like 150 or something like that. So I'll probably do that with this album too.
Sweet. Right on.